Good morning, all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the National Insurance Scheme on this really exciting occasion. Our vision and our mission promises that we will be responsive to changes. We will ensure that we implement technology to make the processes, to make our services more efficient. And this morning, we are really appreciative that you have taken time from your schedule to join us for this launch. Today, we launch our new website and new web portal. This morning, joining us, we acknowledge the Permanent Secretary with the responsibility for Social Security, Mrs. Ann Isaac, Chairman of the National Insurance Board, Mr. Christopher Husbands, other members of the board, the Director of the National Insurance Scheme, Mr. Dorset Cromwell, other members of our management team and our staff, the Manager of Low-Tech, our development team, Mr. Joseph Ivor Gill and the team at Low-Tech, Actuary with LifeWorks, Mr. Derek Osborne, Medical Director, Dr. Tahisha Donnell, and other medical practitioners, President of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andre Lewis, other trade union presidents and representatives, Executive Director of the Employers Federation, Mr. Lydon Lewis, employers, employees, self-employed persons, members of the media, other invited guests. We thank you for joining us, and today, to officially welcome you to this activity, I would invite, before we do the welcome, I would invite our Senior Mortgage Clerk, Mrs. Nicole Frank, to do the opening prayer and thereafter the welcome.
Let us pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Father, this morning we humbly bow before your holy presence to say thank you. Thank you, Lord, for your grace. Thank you, Lord, for your mercies that you continue to lavish upon us every morning. Indeed, we are grateful. We thank you, Lord, for everyone present here today, those that are in-house and those viewing on the different platforms. We ask your continued blessings upon their lives, their families, and their businesses. Father, today the National Insurance Scheme launches its new web portal. As an organization, we recognize that this would not have been possible without your blessings. And for this, we say thank you. We ask you to continue to bless this organization as we strive to fulfill our mission to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Into your hands we place today's proceedings. May you rain down a special blessing on the presenters, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Coming to the microphone, we have our Human Resource Manager, Mrs. Janice Francis.
Pleasant good morning to everyone. Permanent Secretary with responsibility for Social Security, Mrs. Ann Isaacs. Chairman, National Insurance Board, Mr. Christopher Husbands, other members of the board, Director, National Insurance Scheme, Mr. Dorset Cromwell, management and staff of the National Insurance Scheme, Manager of Low-Tech, our development team, Mr. Joseph Ivor Gill, and the Low-Tech team, Actuary with LifeWorks, Mr. Derek Osborne, Medical Director, Dr. Tahisha Donnell, other medical practitioners, President of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andre Lewis, other trade union presidents and representatives, Executive Director, Employers Federation, Mr. Lydon Lewis, employers, employees, self-employed persons, members of the media, other invited guests, and persons joining us via the Zoom platform, and those present face-to-face this morning. On behalf of the National Insurance Board, I am delighted to welcome you to the launch of our new website and first ever web portal. This is indeed a momentous event and a significant achievement for the National Insurance Scheme. In recent months, beginning 2020, the NIS, as the rest of the country and globally, has experienced the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. All of us in the business world have been sharing the very same worries, but also the same desire for a new business method that will make it possible to gain growth built on healthy foundations. To achieve this organizational goal, we at the NIS had to do more than just identify it. Rather, it required the mobilization of everyone concerned and, moreover, careful consideration and coordination of the right steps and actions. And so our team rolled up their sleeves and worked diligently together with Lotec, our development partner, to achieve this important milestone. The website and portal are extremely useful tools that enables our customers to access information at the touch of a button and speed up interactions with the NIS that would put information right in the hands of customers in short order. I am convinced that our customers, doctors, employers, and employees will take this website and web portal initiative and assist in turning it into a state-of-the-art tool for accessing and interacting with the NIS. And so we welcome you all. We will listen and learn of the NIS's newest initiative that we are so proud to present to you today. Again, a very warm and sincere welcome to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Francis, for that warm welcome. And indeed, we are very grateful that you are with us. And to also make a few remarks today, we have the chairman of the National Insurance Board, Mr. Christopher Husbands, here with us. And we invite him now to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you very much, moderator. Permanent Secretary with responsibility for Social Security, Mrs. Ann Isaacs. Other members of the National Insurance Board, Director of the National Insurance Scheme, Mr. Dorset Cromwell, management and staff of the NIS, Manager of Lotec, the development team, Mr. Joseph Ivor Gill, Actuary with LifeWorks, Mr. Derek Osborne, Medical Director Dr. Taisha Donald, other medical practitioners, President of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andre Lewis, other trade union presidents and representatives, Executive Director of the Employers Federation, Mr. Lydon Lewis, employers, employees, self-employed persons, members of the media, other invited guests. The National Insurance Scheme continues to be a leading public institution in the state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and continues its forward motion despite the ever-changing dynamics in these challenging times. The board continues to be well-placed and well-poised for meeting the challenges and harnessing emerging opportunities to achieve sustainability through the leveraging of information and technology to enable new possibilities. This morning, the National Insurance Board embarks on one of the biggest projects in its 39-year history. 39 years ago, we could not have foreseen the tremendous strides that have been accomplished in a relatively short period of time. The reserves of the NIB have increased by 27.2 million between December 2020 to present, and are projected to reach 1.2 billion by the end of next year. We're on the right track, but we still have a lot of work to do. Pensions are rising. This growth has been achieved in the face of the continued effects of the COVID-19 global pandemic, and I would like to thank the staff and management team of the NIS for their hard work, sacrifice, and resilience in these very challenging times. Modern-day customers are now demanding more, so when the board approved its business plan for the year 2021, its most important focus was to provide the kind of service to its stakeholders and customers that would ensure a high level of efficiency, transparency, improved customer service relations, and overall convenience. The board is heartened and wishes to thank the management team for their expert and professional approach that was taken to work together with the development team Low-Tech to see this to fruition. I must say, I normally say you can't be low-tech in a high-tech time, but this time I'm wrong, right? Because we extend our heartfelt thanks to the Low-Tech team for their commitment to the designing and rolling out of the final product that is now to be launched. They have delivered. An integrated IT platform with a website with renewed vitality, easy maneuvering, and containing a wealth of information is the backbone of any modern-day institution. The web portal brings tremendous benefits to all who need to transact business with the NIS, and the board is happy to be able to develop and take advantage of this modern technological age. I will close by ensuring all our customers and members of the organization, staff, and other stakeholders that there is a lot more to come technologically. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Husbands. Also with us today is our director, the captain of our ship, and we would invite Mr. Dorset Cromwell, the director of the National Insurance Scheme, to come and make a few remarks today.
Good morning. Permanent Secretary with responsibility for Social Security, Mrs. Ann Isaac, Chairman of the National Insurance Board, Mr. Christopher Husbands, other members of the board, members of management and staff, the manager of Low-Tech, Mr. Ivor Gill, actuary with Life Work, Derek Osborne, medical director, Dr. Tahisha Donald, other medical practitioners, president of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andre Lewis, other trade union representatives, executive director of the Grenada Employers Federation, Mr. Lydon Lewis, employers, employees, self-employed persons, members of the media, other invited guests, good morning and welcome. Today marks the culmination of strategic focus and discipline and innovative work. I must begin by thanking the doctors and the employers who, when we had our first series of consultation in March of this year, were extremely supportive of the idea and gave us the drive to bring this project to fruition. To the chairman and the board for readily supporting the proposal from the management. I must also thank the developer, Mr. Gill. This project was contracted to a local firm, Low-Tech Innovation, which has done exceptional work. It is always heartening to see our local talents come to the fore, and we at the NIS are always willing to support. Today's development, however, would not have been possible without our in-house programmers who are driving the vast majority of our improvements and innovations. I must also recognize the IT manager, Mr. Dwayne Noel, who has been instrumental in guiding the entire process. You will hear from Mr. Noel shortly. In 2006, the NIS took the strategic decision to develop an in-house programming team so that we can control the pace of our own development. We now have a two-person programming team which has done extraordinary work for us. Here at the NIS, we engage in continuous improvement, we continue to innovate, and where possible to make quantum leap. Today, we believe that this represents a quantum leap in our operations across a wide range of services. We can assure you that when you examine our history of performance and innovation, you will see that as a social security scheme, we stand apart relative to our regional brothers and sisters, and it is no idle boast. Over the years, a number of our social security brothers and sisters have sent delegations to understand what it is we are doing and how they can approach our level of performance. Currently, we consistently pay in excess of 95% of all of our short-term claims within one working day. And we are not satisfied. We are mindful of the missing 5%, the 5% that does not get paid within the one day. In 2005, we revamped the data processing department to eliminate key entry of records. On that activity, we led the way in the English-speaking Caribbean. Others have since followed. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with following. You have to know when to lead, and you have to know when to follow. We now have almost 100% of our data processing uploaded electronically. Notwithstanding this, however, this is one of the activities we have targeted on this web portal to improve. We are one of the few social security schemes in the region to offer employment injury benefit to self-employed persons. Others were hesitant because they held the view that based on the nature of the self-employed engagement, self-employment would reach down to excessive abuse. We held a different perspective that proved correct in our context. Self-employed persons in Grenada have behaved no differently to employed persons on the employment injury benefit. And on this front, Grenada is innovating once again. We are currently in consultation with the Ministry of Health to essentially rip up the playbook on the self-employed regulations. Why? Fundamentally because although self-employed persons and employed persons in the formal sector have key differences, yet the regulations and the requirements are exactly the same. This approach, the first again in the English-speaking Caribbean, is innovative and will serve our self-employed persons better. Make no mistake, we are not saying this is a perfect institution. It clearly is not. We have our weaknesses just like any other business, and we have our fundamental weakness just like any other social security system. We are faced with the same challenges that all social security systems face and must react to. The threats of declining fertility, the threats of migration, and the threats of demographic changes. And in Grenada, we have a history of not responding as quickly as we should. So what it is we are about to do today, but I will start with the benefit claim processing. It is new and revolutionary and another first. So from application to payment will be done with no exchange of paper. None whatsoever. Absolutely everything will be done online, starting.
Cromwell, And before we move to our next item, I'd just like to encourage all, the first step you have to take to access this new web portal, you have to create your user account. So to do so, please contact us. We need your email address, your NIS number, and your cell phone number so you can create your user account. And to officially launch our brand new website and the web portal, we have a manager who has been working very hard, coordinating and making sure this entire process comes to fruition. And he's here with us today to launch the new portal and our website. So let's welcome Mr. Dwayne Noel, the Information Technology Manager.
Good morning, everyone. To the Permanent Secretary responsible for the Social Security, Ms. Ann Isaac, Chairman of the National Insurance Board, Mr. Husband, other members of the board, the Director of National Insurance Scheme, Mr. Dorset Cromwell, management and staff of NIS, Manager of Low-Tech, our development team, Mr. Joseph Gill. We have the actuary of LifeWork, Mr. Derek Osborne, the medical director, Dr. Taisha Donald, other medical practitioners, the president of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andrew Lewis, other trade union president and representatives, executive director of the Employers Federation, Mr. Lyndon Lewis, employers, employees, self-employed persons, members of the media, and other invited guests. I say good morning. I want to firstly indicate that I don't think I really need to stay long because the director did an excellent job in explaining the functions. And my task here is really just to show and present and launch the new website. As you can see, what we had before, as we indicated, we have had constant improvement in terms of the website that we had and what services that we offered. And we listened a lot to our employees and other stakeholders as to what are the functions and features that they would like to see on our website, what are the things that they have been asking for throughout the years. We have been doing some improvement to the then website. But as we launched this new portal, we felt it was necessary to revamp the website, provide the sort of services that persons requested so that we can improve on the level of customer service that we provide. So as you can see, this is our new website. We're on our homepage. On the homepage, we have, in the click on it, you would have the list of all the services that we offer. That aspect, and then when you look at the benefit side, we list out all the maternity, age, funeral grant, all the benefits that we offer. We look at the contribution for the employer-employee, as the director indicated. We provide, what we're trying to do is to provide as much services to the employees and employers in terms of providing information to us and on the functions that they're able to get from the website. On the loans perspective, we provide additional loans. It's not just mortgage loans. We have a list of all the other loans that we do. Previously, in the previous website, we didn't have that. So now we have an additional loans type that we offer, and it gives the person an opportunity to calculate it. So you're thinking of a loan, you're thinking this is the amount of money that you would want on personally, how much do I have to pay? You have the opportunity on the website at that same time to put it in, and then you will have the access to be able to see what is your approximate monthly. Yes, you still have to come in. There may be other little issues that you may not factor in, but it gives you an idea as to what we're doing. So all the other issues in terms of resources, all the reviews that we have done, we've updated that to make sure that we provide that sort of information to persons. So I invite persons to go on our website and to see the sort of services the features that we have offering. Now, important, we have been, beginning of the year, or sometime during the middle part of the year, we started testing the live chat feature so that persons can actually get on, and if they have any questions, you can immediately go on the live chat and get the answer, your question answered immediately, or the assistance that you need. Now, this we have gone through a series of testing, and we are at the point now that we are very comfortable that we have been able to meet the needs of persons. From the time they ask the question, we have the support staff in the back end that will respond and provide that support. So that is one of the features that the IT team has worked significantly hard in terms of, and then now you have the customer service dealing with the responses, have done a significant, as simple as it might seem as just a chat, but many persons have found this very, very useful. Instead of having to call and have that discussion, you ask a question, you move on doing something else, as most persons are online. So that's the second and most important feature, and one of the reasons why we are here is the let's go back to is the issue of the online services, right? This is the web portal that now provides the level of service which the director spoke about, the quantum leap, the level of service which we are now trying to offer, or we are now offering. Right. Now, yeah. Okay, so basically what it is, this screen now, when you get onto the website and you go to the portal, you must create an account. So similar to, this is not you registering as an employee. You must create an account. Similar, you go on Amazon or whatever, you create an account. You must create an account to be able to access the services on the portal. If you don't do that, then there'll be nothing linked to you. So you create that account, and then by doing that account, you put in for example, you can create an account as an employee or as an employer. When you put in the name, the address, and you register, it will send you a confirmation code, which you would have to then confirm. And that is why what we are asking persons at this point in time, as we are rolling out the web portal, users need to confirm and make sure that we have your email address and your contact number on the system, because that is what we will be using to confirm that, hey, this is in fact Dwayne Noel, and I can go ahead and create the account for Dwayne Noel. So we have been working in terms of updating that database, and we're asking persons to assist in because we have an extremely large database, right? And then plus persons, and it has to be a cell number and an email address, not a home number, because we are sending a code, a secure code to you, and it will have to be either on a cell phone, a cell number, or your email address. Now, once you get that code, you would put the code in. We just created a sample so to make it easier for this presentation. And once you now have your account, you then have access to a list of services in terms of to see your profile, to connect your NIS number, to see your contribution, any particular request that you have, submit your claims, make payments, submit your remittances. So you have a list of services, and I must say, this is not the last or the final set of services that we're offering. This is what we are launching with, the services that we have started with, and as we develop and as additional services will be offered on that portal. So when you're on my profile, then you would see the information that you have that is there for you. And as indicated, the notification will be done via your email address and your mobile number, right? You have the option to change your password and that is it. Now, when you go to connect your NIS number, hold on a minute. So connect now means that I have my account. So if I am registered, I can now NIS number to me. So then I could start getting services on. So NIS now recognizes me as registered person X. If I'm an employer, you register and you put in your NIS number, and it allows us now to recognize you as an employer. So you put in your NIS number, you put in your date of birth, and then you click submit, and then it links that number to you. Now you could only you can only have one NIS number, but you can have multiple employer numbers. So for example, you may be a budding entrepreneur and you have 5 businesses, different numbers. You can have employer X, 1, employer 2, employer 3, employer 4. However, on NIS, you could only have one NIS number, right? So once you link and connect, you will then see the information that we have for you, right? You will then see, if you're an employer, you will see the employer information. If you're an employee, then you see the employee information, right? We try to use some of the NIS numbers, so at least we don't provide information that we don't need to show in public. All right. Next. All right. All right. So now, if you are, oh, before we get there, when you are going to link to connect your NIS number to you as a person, if your number exists, then you will put it in. If your number does not exist, then we have to go through the process to confirm that this is you. So if I'm trying to connect and what it allows us to do, let me see, is that it allows us to take a photo for ourselves, but you have to put up an ID next to your face, similar like what we've been trying to do with the life certificate. You put up an ID next to you, and so that, and then once the picture is uploaded, then in the back end we have our support team that will confirm, verify that this is in fact doing well, and then the confirmation will be given, and then you'll be connected. So those are the 2 ways in which you can actually get connected onto your NIS account. All right? So let's go to the request. All right, so under the request, we have 3 different major areas that you can have in a request. One, you have a compliance certificate. So if you're an employer and you're requesting a compliance certificate to do whatever transaction that you need to do, we have improved the process where you don't need to come in. You send you fill out the information, you indicate, and remember, because you're connected to our database, you have all the other information is populated. So you don't have to write out all of that. All you have to put in is the reason that you need a certificate for and your position in the organization, whether you're the manager, the whatever, right? And you submit. We have the support team, and we've put a support team in place to monitor that, and the information comes in, we will process it to make sure our internal process to make sure that you are able to get a certificate. Obviously, you need to be compliant, and the issues and if there are any issues, they would call you and deal with the matter. Or we have the feature where they will send the request back on the portal. You would see a question come up if you need to come in, or if there's some issue. If there's no issue, the process is done almost, I wouldn't say immediately, but we try to get it done within 1 day, which is good. If there's no problems, the certificate is uploaded, and then you have access to it to print it and to do or send it to whoever you need to. I said print it, but we have moved away from printing, so we will send it to you electronically, and you would then submit it to wherever you need electronically. All right. The other request is the employee registration. Right. So we now allow you to register online. You put in your information. So just as how we do the form, you'd go through and enter the information. There's some information, some of the fields are mandatory. You must enter that. You submit the information. We have the ability now, you upload all the required information. So you have a birth certificate, you have your marriage certificate, all the information that we require. You have the ability to upload it, and then you click submit. We have the support team at the back. We'll process that. We'll process your request. And once everything is okay, Once, for example, you don't upload, the image must be clear, so you can see that that is your birth certificate and those sorts of, any issue that we will have, if there's any question, there's a facility where we would send back a question for a question or clarification. You could respond, and then your application is approved. So we will then send you the information, your NIS number that has been successful. The only thing that we have not been able to do is to be able to send you the card electronically. Right? We're still working on that. Right? But if you need the card, then you'd have to come in for the card. But if it's just a register, you have this facility. All right? We don't have to go through the self-employed and the voluntary, but as we have where you can register as a self-employed person or voluntary with the similar process. All right? So that is what we have for the request when you're doing as an employee registration. Under the request as an employer, same process. You would put in the required information as an employer, all right, and that allows us to do the exact same process as we're doing with the employees, all right. The next request that we have is to deal with the remittances, right? Now, as we did some transitioning from since we started in NIS to now, where first of all it was a paper we were entering stuff. Then we moved to the process where we had the Excel spreadsheet, and the Excel spreadsheet is emailed to us, and then it is posted. We have since tried to look at ways to improve the process. We had some while the Excel spreadsheet at that time and the process of the e-remittance, what we call it, is excellent and has allowed us to make those payments to benefits almost the same day because the information gets to the system, up to the system fast. We're now looking at what were the challenges that we had. And some of the challenges, for example, with the increase of spam mails, hacking, and those sorts of unsolicited mails that you get, sometimes you have to make sure that the mail you get from the employer is legit. So those are some of the challenges that we thought we needed to improve. And then also, how do we get information faster onto the system? So we now improve the process now so that the information that you're uploading is directly onto the web portal and it hits your employer file immediately. Right? So if we still allow persons to upload the Excel file, but through this portal for persons who may have had some investment in the accounting application and still produce Excel file. However, the preferred approach and the faster approach would be to go through that process. We have been using it. We had this testing particularly coming out, not coming out of, but the first sort of wave that we spoke about in 2020. We have the kiosk, we have given it to certain employers where they can enter the information and it populates. So you do January. In February, you don't have to populate it again. It pulls up your last one, and then you click submit. Once you click submit, it goes directly to us and straight onto your database. So what does this allow? If you have an employee that has submitted a claim, it allows us to submit the claim practically almost at the same time because the information is already there. If failing that, you would have to enter the information and then for the benefit department to see the data. So and also it also eliminates the issue of spam mails, unsolicited mails coming into the system. From a security standpoint, that has made another step in terms of how we have tightened up our security with information coming in with the world that we're in now. Now, with this also, with your portal and with the portal, it allows persons easily now to see your total contribution. So I know I can now sign on and I can see how much persons want to know. I wonder how much contribution I pay in NIS since I'm born. Yeah, how much since NIS started I've been how much I have, and that has been a question posed. So we are trying to make persons could just look at the information and see, this is how much contribution I have. It may not be, there may be little child, for example, you may have worked with an employer that didn't pay for you. You would see the statement and say, but listen, how come there's nothing there for me in 2004. Yeah? And I worked with X, Y, or Z. Then you have an opportunity to submit the request to come in, and we can do this statement. You make a request, doing a contribution statement request, and then we can look at it. And then we have that discussion with you. So it is important. It allows you to plan better, especially as persons who like to plan as they retire, as they approach retirement age. All right, so you see the list, and then you're able to view your statement. You'll be able to download it. At each step of the way, you'll be able to download the information and view it on your own time. All right. The issue Commerce spoke about the claims. So what the issue with the claims now it is now another major milestone where you initiate either you or the doctor initiate your claim. So if you're sick, the doctor will pull it up, initiate the claim. You will then submit it to the employer by viewing it on the app. The employer will review it, put in the necessary information, and I for one hate forms, so I hate filling out forms. So being involved in this project, I make sure that there is very little information you have to enter. So all the information is already on the system. So when I say all, your name, your date of birth, so there's no need to go and fill that out again. What we need is a specific information to the claim that you're submitting. And also, we are using the ICD-10 codes, which eliminates and improves the security of the claim passing from the doctor to you, to the employer, to NIS. You're not seeing my little toe is damaged. You're seeing there'll be a code that will be passing through, so that persons will have, and only persons who need to have access to see the code will have access to. So basically, those are the features that we have. The persons may ask, now, would someone have access to my data, right? No, we're spending, even as we speak, we still, almost every day we go through the protocols and the security side of it, just to make sure we covered everything. And we have put a significant effort in terms of separating the AS400 data and the web portal. It's completely different platforms. So when you're on a portal, you're not having, the data is not there with you. It sends a request, and internally we send information out. So we validate who we send it to based on our API that we have in the middle, and so that the web portal gets information. So no one can just attempt to be you and log on to and hack onto your system. So that is the first aspect that we look at, that we addressed. I believe those are the major issues. We have been working on the payment aspect of it. We are the Dcash. We are working with the ECB Dcash account, where an employer could pay us with the digital cash. We're tweaking out just to make sure that we have that proper, and how the pilot project has been going. Persons have been seeing that, the various banks using that. So in the meantime, we have the existing bank payment process, where we would then direct you to the bank's portal, and then you could do the normal transfer. So where we at now? What is it that we want to do? We need to move forward again. We just launched this. Now what has to happen is that we need to submit the claims. We are in the process. We have a team now set up going to register, we have already started reaching out to the doctors. So we're now registering all the medical practitioners so that they have access to the account. We are reaching out to the employers to register. And we are now, from the employee perspective, we have a team going out, or not going out, but we have a team internal reaching out to various employees to ensure that the information that we have for you in terms of the email and your number is. So that is essential for us, and it'll be an ongoing process. So that is where we're going. So from today, persons will be called. You will receive calls, especially from the employer and the medical practitioner perspective, and so that you can update the table to benefit from this program. So So, and I think that's basically it. I hope I was clear, and I will end and have hand you back over to Mrs. Douglas, who will take additional questions. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Noel. And at this time, we would invite the media and anyone else who so desire to use the raise hand method, or you can type it in the chat and we will entertain all your questions. Okay, all right, we have one person. We have Rena Pear Thomas from the GBN. Rena, you can go ahead with your question.
Good morning to everybody. My question, basically just to clarify at this point, you're asking all the clients to register, or is it the clients and the employers to register?
Everyone need to register for their own user account. So employees, you have to register for your personal user account. Remember, the account is for you only. Employers also would need to register for their user account, and self-employed persons likewise.
Also, when the doctor fills the form and he sends a link to the employee, and the employee would have sent it to the employer, why does the employer have to send it back to NIS when they would already have all the information in the system that was put in?
Remember, the process would be the same as exists now. The only difference is there's no paper. So currently, when you go to the doctor completes your sick leave form. Then you take that sick leave form to your employer, because your employer must certify that, one, you're employed with them and also you're on sick leave. And then the employer submits that form to the NIS. So the process remains the same. It's just that it's totally paperless.
But that is where I'm confused. If it's digital, wouldn't all the information be in the same platform? Because if the doctor would have used that link to put the information and he gives it to me, and I would have done my necessary using that same link and give it to my employer, who would use that link to put the same information, would it not be on the same platform where NIS can find it?
Okay, so let me see if I could clarify. No, it's they go onto the portal. So the doctor goes onto the portal and completes the information. So it's on our platform. So the portal and completes the information. It shows up on the employee's screen or the phone or the device, and they realize, okay, this has to be completed. They click submit. It just goes to the employer. When the employee is on the portal, they would see they have 3 employees that submitted a claim, and they will fill out the information and click submit. So it's just a workflow. So instead of having to move the paper, it's already existing in NIS, but we just need a doctor to check it off, you to say proceed, and then the employer said, and provide the information, and it comes in. So the information relates to, yes, the employee is registered and so fine, but what we need from the employer is just to confirm that yes, this person is is working with them. So it's all information resides in NIS. It's just each different player in the process. I hope that explains it a little bit better.
Yes, it's very clear now, I understand.
Fine.
Rena, you had another question?
No, that was it for now.
Okay. All right. I have a question here. Just to clarify, the remittance Excel file has to be uploaded to the new system? Yes. So you currently have your file, you just upload it. There's another question. Do we have to contact the NIS? Yes. To create your user account, you have an initial contact that you must make with us in order to create it. What we need is your email address, your NIS number, or your mobile number. Any other information?
Yeah, so let me just add to that. What we are working on now is building a database with the correct email address and contact number. So once we have that, and I indicated earlier, and once you create the account, you don't necessarily need to come in to get ready to create the account. That is provided that you gave us an email address and or contact number. Once you give us that, then you would not need to come in. You can do that all on the portal, right? So what I would suggest that persons will do is to go on, create the account, and you will find that you can just create the account and attach your NIS number to your account, all right?
What email address should employers use to email their request to register?
Oh, okay. Well, we have the customer service email address, which
Customer service.
customer service at nsgrenada.org. However, what we will do, we will reach out to you, but you can go onto our portal and then create the account, and you'll be able to register one time. All right. So the intention is you go onto the portal, you create your account, and then you register. If there are any challenges, you can go on the live link chat or give us a call at customer service, and we'll reach out to you. All right.
So our numbers, we have 440-3309. We also have a direct line to customer service, 440-6647. Our WhatsApp contact numbers, 403-7512, 458-6060. And of course, customer service at nisgrenada.org. We are also on Facebook, so you could message us there. And Mr. Noel mentioned the live chat. So it's time to start using the new website. The live chat feature is instant, so you could type in there. You need to have your NIS number. So now is a good time to make a telephone call or contact us to ensure you have your NIS number. If you don't have a card, come in and get your card, and then you can go onto the portal. So while you're there, you can live chat with us. We have another question. When will this website be available for use to the public? It's available right now, Mr. Noel?
We're pushing it live, so persons, it will take a little while for them to refresh their cache, but by today, all persons should have access to the website is pushed live. We're just making sure that all persons will have access to all the online services shortly.
All right, so there you have it. So today you will have access to the portal. Let me just backtrack to make sure I got everybody's questions. If the information on the site is out of date for employees, can they change it? I'm not sure if you're referring to the employee's personal information. So that person who typed that question, you'll have to provide a little clarity.
Just to highlight, we, as I said, what we're launching with is some of the services that we have already went through and tested. At this point in time, we are still working on a new feature where persons can actually make the changes on their personal account. So if there are any issues, then persons will shoot an email and we will assist. Okay. Right? So as I said, there are different functions that we have in feature. that we want to put out, but as of now, what we have to produce now is what we have tested and comfortable with.
All right, we have a question here. Will this be available after today? Yes, it will be on our Facebook page. It will remain there. So you can go back and look at this entire launch all over again. Another question, how will government employees be handled as their sick leave forms are sent to the Ministry of Finance, the government of Grenada and all the PSs, all the different ministries, they are on board. So just like for any other employer, when you go to the doctor, it will be sent, your employer, in this case, the government of Grenada. And of course, they will have their user access and they'll be able to submit your sick leave using that same platform.
All right, so let me just add to what was mentioned now. When we had our meetings with the stakeholders, there were different experiences. So, for example, you have the normal, when I say the normal employers, where it's a one-step process. There are other entities, like the government of Grenada, in terms of the ministries, or maybe there are others where the process is different. So you submit a sick leave in one division, and it is sent to Ministry of Finance and process. So these are the issues that we making sure that we're working fine. We have the process, but we want person to use it. Obviously, there may be issues that we will need to fix, but the process itself, it will not vary, but those sorts of processes are a little bit more challenging to deal with. So we have to have some more discussion with those entities to make sure that the process is in line with how they want to see it. And I think even when they were open to explore other options in terms of improving the process, because while we're improving our system, and it allows employers now to look at their system to improve how they submit these claims. So it's an area where both parties have benefit.
Mr. Noel, another question. After the doctor completes the claim form and sent to the employee, would the employer be notified that there's a claim?
All right. Once the doctor has completed, the employee is notified there's a claim for them. So at that point in time, the employer is not notified. If at that point the employee submits it to the employer, it's at that point in time the employer gets notified. Because sometimes somebody may have a claim and they decide they're not going to submit it. So how we have it configured now and the process that we have, the only time the employer will be notified, it is when the employee submits information to the employer.
Okay, Rena, you have another question. You can go ahead.
Yes, my other question is, would you be accepting the paper mechanism going forward still? How long? And how long would it take you to completely go to just paperless? Or would you continue to take the paper form going forward still?
Right now, we have a somewhat paperless system right now. When employees are sick, they fill out the claim form, the doctor completes their section, they take it to the employer scans it and emails it to us. So currently, it's no paper form in the form of sick leaves, maternity leaves, etc. comes to us. So this process is just taking it one step further, where the first two parties don't have to complete any paper either. Okay, we may be thinking just about sick leaves, but just so you know that the other benefits that the NIS offers are also included. So if you're overseas, you have a loved one who passed and you have to claim for survivors, you can go online on the portal and claim for that benefit also. You're age 60, and now it's a good time to let persons know if you are 60, it's time to claim your benefits. You can go onto the portal and complete your claim there. And all the other benefits, funeral grant, employment injury for each benefit, not just for sickness and maternity benefits. Okay, let me go back to the chat to see if we have missed anybody. Someone has a question. For example, if the employee changes jobs, how Can that be changed? Not sure what you're asking there. So the person who typed that question, please provide some clarity. Mr. Noel, you think you know what they're asking?
All right, so once you change it, so you're working at employer X, and now you move to employer Y. Once you submit a claim, the system, we have, remember the information, we have that the employer has submitted information for you. So the system goes back and checks the last employer that submitted for you, and then it provides information on the screen that says employee, the employer that you pull out is like employee Y. If for some reason information is wrong, then you have the opportunity to make the comment, and the back-end office will look at it, and then they will have that discussion going. But what is basically the information is already in our system. So there's no need for you to make any change if you change your employer. Right?
Okay, so there's another question. What mechanism do you have in place to ensure that third parties to the portal, such as doctors, are doing the right thing so as to not leave the employees at a disadvantage due to incompleted processes on the part of the third party?
Okay, so basically from this launch, we are doing some more training. The intention is going to make sure that we are doing training with the doctors and employers to make sure our persons understand the process. And we do know that this will be a process where there will be little issues that we have to tweak. So as we roll it out, those are the things that will pop up. So we will start the training process following this launch.
And another question for you. What's happening to persons who don't have resources to complete the claim? What happens to employees who do not have smartphones, devices? Do they still send paper certificate to employers?
Okay,
Can
so,
an employer come to the NIS for training?
all right, so to answer the first question, we try to capture as much persons, but then as you know, the penetration in terms of how many persons have mobile devices and other devices may not be the entire population. As we see that in the schools and working from home. So the process will remain the same for persons who do not have that device. We are looking at different functions. As I said, this is not the end at all. The development continues as to how best we can assist everyone. And so I don't have the final aspect in terms of persons who don't have the smart device, how they function on this portal, but they will continue using the same process as they do now. They will submit the form, and the employer will scan it and send it. Right?
Okay. Just to highlight, anybody else? Well, okay, I don't see anybody else. I'm not seeing any hands. So I think at this point we can wrap up. So now I would invite our finance manager, Mr. Max Gordon, who would say thank you for all of you here joining us today. I invite him now to the microphone. I'm sorry, hold on. Somebody's saying last question not answered, retraining. Of course, any support you need, whether you're an employee, whether you're an employer, any support you need in terms of using the process, creating your user account, we are available and willing to help you. So just contact us. I would provide our numbers again, 440-3309, 440-6647, or send us an email, customerservice@nisgrenada.org, or you could contact PR directly, pro@nisgrenada.org, or on WhatsApp, 403-7512, 458-6060, and we would provide all the support that you need. Mr. Gordon?
Pleasant good morning to everyone. Today's launch of our rejuvenated website and new web portal has indeed been a milestone achievement for the NIS, one that would bring tremendous benefits to the people we serve in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique through greater efficiencies and quality of service. It required hard work, lengthy hours, including weekends, but we are thrilled to see the rewards of our labor on this special day. We'd like to thank the Board of Directors for allowing management the opportunity to create this initiative and allowing us the flexibility to work. To the chairman, Mr. Christopher Husbands, we thank you for especially for being part of this launch and for giving tremendous support to the process. Thank you very much, board and chairman. Special thanks goes out to our IT team, Mr. Noel, Mr. Clarkson, Ms. Palacio, and Mr. Soto, for conceptualizing the plan and working assiduously with long hours to bring all the relevant parties together for this moment. You have done well, and we appreciate and thank you. We would also like to say thank you to the software developers, Lowtech, Ivor Gill and his team, who partnered with the IT team and management, patiently going back and forth, designing and redesigning to ensure that the product today is top class and second to none. To the special group of individuals who were called upon to leave their day-to-day tasks and concentrate on making sure all the back-end work was done, Lisa Douglas, Shannon Phillip, Marsha Lewis, Jesse Collins, Samuel Chaitan, Alexa Andrews, and others, hats off to you. Work well done. To the director, Mr. Cromwell, for so ably leading on this project, we say a big thank you, and we also appreciate you and thank you for your remarks today. Fellow colleagues in management, we thank you for your combined efforts in ensuring that this project was successful. To the general staff, whatever role you played, whether simply casting an eye on various articles, testing, cross-checking, rechecking, or making suggestions, you have all done well, and there would have been no success without you. To the members of the media, we thank you for being here and for assisting us in spreading the good news of today's launch. You always play a meaningful role in occasions such as these. To all the other parties joining us on this momentous occasion, permanent secretaries of the various ministries, and in particular, Mrs. Ann Isaac, permanent secretary with responsibility for Social Security, Dr. Taisha Donald, the medical director, and other medical practitioners, President of the Trade Union Council, Mr. Andre Lewis, Executive Director of the Employers Federation, and extend a heartfelt thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. Special thanks to the moderator of today's function, Ms. Lisa Gibbs Douglas, and other participants, Mrs. Nicole Hannibal Frank, Mrs. Janice Francis, Dr. Dwayne Noel, and Mr. Oliver and his team for the role that you have played during this morning's activities. It was indeed very well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon. And I think Dwayne got the doctor because of all the hard work that our IT team had to put in order to bring this about. So that's why you got the doctorate. So thank you very much, viewers, employers, employees, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And we pray that you would have a good day. Happy use of the system. Remember, contact us. We've typed all our numbers and our contact information in the chat so you can access it, and you could always go back to our Facebook page. So thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you.